exhortation to doctrine, not the gift that is in thee, which was given thee by prophecy with the laying on the hands of thy presbyters. Lord, may the Lord have blessed the reading of his holy, entire and holy word. As we look at this passage here, for those who go to Bible study, see, this is where Bible study came in hand. We know that the book of Timothy was written by Paul. It was written of his young mentee, Timothy. As he was writing to Timothy, he was saying, let no one look upon you because of your age. Now, as we also come further reading that, we also learn that Timothy, with his role as he's dealing with a population full of, here's my word, seasoned saints. He was placed in a sort of authoritative role. As in verse 12, he mentioned some of these characteristics that he knew it would be vital to the youth as they're supposed to transition on in their role in the church. Paul was also giving instruction to Timothy about how the elders, with their communications, dealings, and interactions with the youth. He was also telling young Timothy that he was in charge until he returned, and that he should not neglect his gift because he was young and he was dealing with a bunch of seasoned saints. Way across Mother Church, I come to ask you today, where's the love?
All right.
So as we look at, not this church, but we look at a lot of churches in our faith, we're starting to see a decrease in the youth membership. We're starting to ask ourselves, where did the youth go? We are looking in the day and age, and we seeing an ever-decreasing number of our youth. We are living in a day and age in a church where we have to compete with the world. We have to, secular music is taking over, popular culture is taking over, the government is taking over, and the Lord of this realm, God with the little G, is taking over.
All right.
So, and Webster's dictionary defines youth as the time of life when one is young, especially the period between childhood and maturity, the early period of existence of growth or development. So the question asking is, why do the youth in record numbers leaving their birth church? Or they go to a church with an inexperienced pastor, or they simply just leave the church altogether. We're living in a day, in a climate where the youth in the church is constantly getting talked down. Where I'm dealing with an issue now, I have a young lady who wants to leave the church because of the stuff that is said to her. Now, when we do stuff as the youth, when we have game nights, most thing that we talk about is all they playing spades with. Now, I didn't know spades could send you to hell, but this is what we have to go through.
All right.
When we do stuff. Or how short is her skirt? Why is she having big hoop earrings? Why is she sitting on the quad?
All right.
I'm willing and available if somebody would teach the young ladies how to be young ladies. I'm still waiting for that invitation. Also, if the youth is going to convocation, they better not be going to swimming. I didn't see no way in the Bible where going in the pool sends you to hell. So,
all right.
That once they see their light, they're like Taco Bell, they're going to head for the border. And we look, and when we ask the youth to do something, they say no. And when we need the youth help for something, they say no. And when we want to be a part of service, that's right, you know what they're going to say? No.
All right.
So, I did some research, and, some black folks don't like to hear nothing too. You get some research from the man. So, this is what a couple of things that I got from this. Feel like the youth are an easy target. Don't you know that going to school, the youth have problems going on. They might be getting bullied, or they might be the mother or the daddy of the household. Now, when they come to church, they look for refuge. They don't come to church to get talked down upon. They don't come to church to get tore down. They want to come to church to get built up. Now, if I would come to church and all I'm doing is hearing this, you ain't doing this, they probably saying to themselves, I might as well just stay my black behind home. So, church, I'm here to ask you, where is the love?
All right.
Now, here's another fact that this man said is investing in your youth ministry. Now, when the youth have something, how often do you physically, actively participate? Now, I'm not talking about the mother church. I love y'all. I'm just speaking in general. And if you happen to take offense to what I said, then I may be talking about you. It's another thing is, when you have fun, do you frown upon them having fun as kids? Right? They have fun. So do you give alternatives to help you to have some good Christly fun? Well, I didn't know that having a game night and going swimming, shooting pool, playing bowling, or going skating was a constitute of eternal death. Also is, do you attend the events with your youth? I want you to ask yourself, do I do all I can be for my youth? For the Bible says, train up a child as they should go, and he will not depart from it. I can say for myself as a witness, it was a time in my life where I didn't want to come to church, frankly, right? I ain't gonna lie, I hated church. I told myself once I turned 18, because I was going to school in Miami, I was going to have fun, I was going to party with Luke and his dance. But little did I know God had his hand on me.
All right.
10 years I resisted coming to church, but I gave my mother a voice. Antoine, I know the Lord's been good to you. I don't know how many of y'all remember how I used to come to church looking like the dude from the wire, jeans, Timbs, and a t-shirt. But it was the youth. I remember it was the Lord's grandson, Tyree. Every Sunday he would come to me and was like, why are you dressing like that? And you know what I would tell him, where every grown folks would tell a child, it's because I'm grown. It was that then where I had to change myself inside and out. So now it's the famous saying from JFK to be exact. Ask not what your country can do for you, but ask what you can do for your country. But the Youth for Christ president is asking you today, ask not what the Youth for Christ can do for you, but ask what you can do for your Youth for Christ.
All right.
Because I was thinking about the past, that it wasn't an old Isabel Ford who started the Youth for Christ. It was a young Isabel Ford. It wasn't an old Bishop Brooks who took the conventions out of the church and to the hotel. It was a young Bishop Brooks.
Yeah.
And let me serve me correctly. It was the Youth for Christ that helped pay for nights that day. So I asked to tell you where is the love?
All right.
And I'm about to go forward. Those who always think of the past don't have no future. People, I want to let you know that the Youth for Christ president don't follow trends. He sets them.
All right.
I'd like to let you know that the mother church, we don't follow trends. We set them. I want you to grab a youth, tell them by the hand and say, youth, I demand greatness.
I demand greatness. I demand greatness.
Greatness. Youth, I expect greatness.
Yes.
Now I want you to point to that big tall dude with the microphone. Say, President.
President.
Make sure you gotta point up because he's tall. I want you to say, President.
President.
I expect greatness.
I expect greatness.
I will receive greatness.
I will receive
You
greatness.
will be great.
You will be
I
great.
want you to point to your senior pastor. Say, senior pastor.
Senior pastor,
I have your back.
I have your back.
I have your front.
I have your front.
I have both of your sides.
I have both of your
When
sides.
they talk about you,
Talk about you.
they talk about me.
They talk about
They
me.
talk about you.
They talk about
You
you.
want to have problems.